So for example, if you take, I'm just going to reset this and just draw a couple of squares, give it a thickness to it, a couple of shapes overlapping, just to show you a little bit more with this selection for this piece. Okay. So if I take all of these geometric shapes, they all have a thickness to it, so it's not going to lose that stroke. That'll stay constant. And just go ahead and make this into a live paint. Click on the letter K. It does give you this option. If you double click onto this menu, it says paints the fill and the stroke using the swatch from the cursor. So the preview, it'll show that piece. And it just gives you the highlighting of the color when it hits it onto that side. If you click on the tips, it just shows you this illustration with the fish where you have the selected piece, everything is a closed overlapping line, and then it turns it into the live paint and allows you to paint the shapes inside and or the fill and the stroke, depending on which one you choose from. And then it just gives you a couple more functions. So the live paint group will allow you to merge these pieces together if necessary. Okay, so you have all these different options. Okay, so if you have just picking the fill, turn off the stroke just to show it to you. Here's the cursor that has the items, just give it a color. So I'll go with blue. You can see that the overlapping pieces still stay highlighted, so when you go through that, and it does give you the option to change some of the coloring. Okay, but again, it doesn't let you click on the stroke. You can see how it's highlighting in red as it goes through this. If I go back into this section, it'll let me highlight this, so you have both of them highlighted. Click OK, and now it'll allow me to do both the fill, and it has a separate keystroke color for that, so I'll make them green. So when it clicks on there, you can see it's coming green into that part. And when it gets into the fill, it also has that color choice. If you hold the Shift key down, it'll just do the interior parts, not the faces, not the lines. Okay. And also, if you just have this part held down, when you Shift key, it'll change it to the stroke. Let go, it'll be in the separation of the face. So it gives you that option to work from. On this character, I already copied it from the top, and I'm just going to move these guys over a little bit. And so this part it's still all together as one unit. Just go to Object and Expand, and you'll get another window that comes up that has expanding the object, fill, and the stroke. So it has all these options that you can choose from. If you had gradients in there, they'd expand those as well. And now it's still connected, but when you take one shape, use the mesh tool, you see that you can zoom in, and it treats this as one piece. You can combine them with the shape builder as you get going, but you can kind of see this little section here. So here's the direct selection tool. This part is connected. This part you can start to illustrate. So this part has to be connected, but you have this opportunity to start to shade some of these pieces in here. So as you go through it, you can blend that gradient mesh in there. So it gives you that option. I'm going to back out of this one just temporarily. And here, it's all selected. You just go to Object, ungroup it all. And now you can see that you have a little bit more opportunity to illustrate it separately. So you just have to see some of the pieces may be grouped together that you want to begin to illustrate. Hopefully that'll get that. Some of the paths a little too many points inside there. Let's see what you've got going here. here's different parts and pieces here. And if it says that it has too many points in there, you can actually simplify it, because when you take a look at this particular piece, you have a lot of points that were made into this section, so you can go to Object, Path, Simplify, and here's a preview button that'll show you. Obviously it's a little too much. It's showing the original. So you can see just how many you need in there. And then you can use the underwriting part of it. And each time you click, you start to get used to seeing just how far this section will go. Undo this part. Take the direct selection. So here's this selection in this piece. See if you can use the shape builder to bring that across. So it takes a little part of the planning in there to illustrate it. You can see some of the pieces coming in there. Here's this one. So here's this piece. Gradient mesh pads. Shade that guy. So like I said, some will give a warning that it has too many points to make the gradient mesh. Object path. Simplify a little bit. So you can see once you get the tool highlighted, you can start to really see the shading. So I'm just kind of clicking in the shape when it shows up, building that selection there. Shapes at all. Gives a little bit of a tone that you can see.